all, my name is Reggie and today I will be sharing with you my 1,000 subscriber Q&A. So recently I hit 1,000 subscribers and I posted a video asking you guys to ask me questions. And you did. So I first want to say thank you guys so much for asking me questions because you really brought out the force with the questions and I'm super grateful for that because this is something I've shared with very few people. But my biggest YouTube fear has always been that I would one day decide to do a Q&A and no one would ask me questions. So I'm really grateful for every person that asked me a question. If you're new here, you should subscribe. I post new bookish videos every Sunday. Some weeks you'll get more videos, but I definitely post new videos every Sunday. And if you hit that red subscribe button, then you will be notified when I post those new videos, which is pretty nifty. Technology's cool like that. So without further ado, let's get into your questions. My first question comes from Steve at the Law Gnome, and it says, okay, I have a winner for you. Out of your favorite books, which book or book series do you feel would become a successful Broadway musical specifically composed by Lin-Manuel Miranda? Steve knows this, and that's why he asked me this question, but I'm a huge fan of Hamilton, and also I did get to see Hamilton on Broadway. I have a video all about that because Manny, my fiance, and Lynn are cousins. So for this, I've thought about it, and it's hard. It's a really hard one, but I'm going with The Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer. These are a series of sci-fi fairy tale retellings. So Cinder follows Cinderella, Scarlet follows Little Red Riding Hood, Crest follows Rapunzel, Winter follows Snow White, and then Stars Above is like a novella bind-up. There's also a prequel novella following our villain of the series, and there's also a graphic novel that comes after the series following one of the other characters in the book. Why I think Lynn would do good with these is because there's a lot of content in those books, and if you don't know, like, you want to get through a lot of content in a musical, go to Lynn. Wrap that shit out. Also, Hamilton is a retelling of sorts, so I think he could do good with retellings. That's just my opinion. I also think it'd just really be so much fun to see him try to do sci-fi stuff on stage. I think that'd be so much fun. Aaron King asks, you're stuck on a desert island with only 3 books. What 3 books do you have with you? Congratulations on 1K and cheers to many more. Thanks, Aaron. I thought long and hard about this. At first I was like, okay, what are books that I will like never get sick of rereading over and over again? I was like, I could bring a Harry Potter book or multiple Harry Potter books. I wouldn't really want to bring books that I've never read before because if I don't like them, then I'm stuck with them. And I don't really want to break up Harry Potter and bring part of the series. I could bring my favorite. I would only be bringing 3 of the books. That would be so sad. So I ended up deciding to bring a trilogy that I could read over and over and over and over and over again and literally never get sick of. And that is the Fire and Thorns trilogy by Ray Carson. This is about an overweight princess who is married off for political advantage and is then kidnapped and has to go on lots of journeys and save the world. Is that a good description? Not really. Are these the best books ever? Possibly. Shannon Reeds asks, favorite book character of all time and why? This is undoubtedly Hermione Granger from the Harry Potter series. I have many reasons why Hermione is my favorite, and I will link them down below because I've made multiple videos talking about Hermione and why I love her. Sandy from Sandy Reads a Lot commented, congrats on 1K. Can you recommend an underrated book? I have just the book. My favorite underrated book is Golden by Jessie Kirby. This is a contemporary story about a girl named Parker. Parker is a girl who's always walked the straight and narrow. She is on her way to going to her dream college, and she is on the road to be valedictorian. She's never really placed a foot out of line or taken any risks. And as she is in her second semester of her senior year, she realizes that maybe that's not the best way to live her life. In the smallest strokes of trying to put a toe out of line, she ends up stealing a journal of a girl who passed away. She doesn't really steal it, but she doesn't give it back to its proper owner. This is a girl who passed away a few years ago in her very small town. So everyone knows about this girl. So this story does take a non-linear progression. In one story we follow Parker's story going forward as she approaches graduation, and in the other timeline we are focusing on the diary of this other girl going through her life, and it's, I believe, also her senior year of high school. And so it's really interesting to see these 2 storylines come together, and I think Parker is a very interesting character. I really like the setting of the small town, and I really loved the journal story point in this book, and I've not heard anyone on BookTube talk about this. Next up we have Lily from Sweet Love Books who commented, congrats on 1K, Reggie, you totally deserve it, which is so sweet. What are your favorite musicals other than Hamilton, and what's your favorite dog breed? Okay, so my favorite musicals besides Hamilton, I have a lot. I really like West Side Story and A Chorus Line, some of my favorites of all time. I really like In the Heights, and Wicked, Phantom of the Opera. Rent is great. I like the Disney musicals, so I've seen Lion King and Beauty and the Beast, and those are fantastic. I love Les Mis. Les Mis will always hold a special place in my heart. Oh, Fiddler on the Roof. I've recently been listening to Dear Evan Hansen, and that's really good as well. And my favorite dog breed is a Corgi. Yogi! Hi, Yogi. You want to be a YouTube star? This is Yogi. He's a 5-year-old Pembroke Welsh Corgi. He is a tricolor. I'm gonna set him down because he's not having fun. Yogi has an Instagram of his very own, so if you're interested in that, you should definitely follow him. Then Pickle Hearts Books commented, congrats, you deserve all the subscribers. If you haven't filmed it yet, my questions are, what are your favorite types of book endings, e.g. epilogues, open-ended, wrapped into a little pretty bow, cliffhangers? She has a couple questions, so we'll start with that one. I've recently discovered that I do not like endings wrapped up in a tiny bow. I've always known this, but I recently super realized it. Going into that, I also don't like epilogues. Most of the epilogues I have read, I haven't enjoyed. I did not like the Harry Potter epilogue. Did not like the Hunger Games epilogue. Did not like the Fifth Wave epilogue. Did not like the Moral Instruments epilogue. Did not like the Infernal Devices epilogue. I just don't like epilogues. Even for some of my favorite series like Harry Potter, I really didn't like the 19 Years Later epilogue. I'm sorry. So what I like in an ending is, I don't necessarily like a cliffhanger, but I like an ending where I feel complete. I want like that closure, but I don't want the story to feel like it's not going to be able to continue. A good example of this is In the Afterlight by Alexandra Bracken, which is the third and final book in the Darkest Minds trilogy. I think that was a really good conclusion in terms of what I like. It concluded the story. We had a finite conclusion to the issues that were brought up in that book, but I can see that they still had work to do, and I could see that this life is gonna continue for them, and I really enjoy that kind of thing. She also asked, do you have any favorite opening lines? I sure do. One of my favorite first sentences ever is from The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater, and this is in the prologue, but it still counts. It is, Blue Sergeant had forgotten how many times she'd been told that she would kill her true love. I was so sold by that first sentence. Another truly epic first sentence is from Mindy McGinnis's The Female of Species. It says, this is how I kill someone. Damn, mic drop. Finally, I'm pretty partial to the first sentence of Paper Towns by John Green. The way I figure it, everyone gets a miracle. She also asks, what is your favorite meal? So I really like eating like American food, like hamburgers and stuff like that. But I also really enjoy Indian food. So chicken tikka marsala is some of my favorite. I really like chickpea dishes. And she also asks, what is your favorite junk food snack? So my favorite junk food snack is popcorn. Popcorn can totally be healthy, and I definitely eat healthy versions of popcorn as well, but I love me some popcorn regardless. Hands down, my favorite thing to eat. Remember Reads commented, congrats on passing 1,000 subs. Here's a question inspired by the fact that I can't figure out what that flat-ish purple item on the shelf behind you is. Other than books, what lives on your bookshelf? So I will grab those items and share them with you. What you saw and what you're probably referring to are the Harry Potter Birdie Box Every Flavor beans. I have 2 boxes of these, and I was gifted these for Christmas along with a Harry Potter Jelly Slugs Gummy Candy Slugs pack. So I keep these on my bookshelf. May eat these one day, may not, but for now they live on my shelf next to the Harry Potter books. I also have 2 candles that I got from Alcrates on my shelf. One is a Wonder Woman themed candle, and one is a Fangirl themed candle. I also keep my 2 book bows on my shelf, kind of like sitting on top of my books. Book bows are essentially book pockets that will keep your books safe in transport, especially like paperbacks in a purse. That's what I use them for. And I have a Ravenclaw one and like an espresso themed one. I also have a Captain America pop figure, which I also recently got in an Alcrate box. And then I have this pink bucket full of bookmarks. I have a few favorites, including these bookmarks, which are from Lindsay, and I will link her shop down below. She used to have an Etsy shop, and now she has moved Caffeinated Bookmarks, her bookmark shop, to her website, so I'll link it down below. You should definitely check her out. These are like my favorite bookmarks. I also have this bookmark, which I absolutely love, and it has just some of my favorite things on it. Always out of frame for you guys, but on the very top of my bookshelf, I have this picture frame, and it's of me, and it says I love my grandpa, but when my grandfather passed away, I went home and was told, like, if there's anything you want, you can have it. And I asked if I could have this picture because this was housed on my grandpa's desk, and it meant a lot to me that it meant a lot to him, so I wanted to have it. It's weird to like have a picture of yourself, but it's sentimental and special for me. And then the last thing that's not books that is housed on my shelf is this jewelry box. Inside this jewelry box is a sand dollar that we found at the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk when I was home for my grandfather's services Manny's mom took us to the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk, and she found this very beautiful, fully intact sand dollar and gave it to me, and I keep it in this box on my shelf. That was just like a very healing and distracting in a good way trip to the beach for me. And I like to keep it on my bookshelf next to the picture to remember some really good moments in life can come out of some really hard times in life as well. Sammy McCain asked, what is your favorite genre to read in the summertime? Congrats on 1K. Thank you, Sammy. In the summertime, I do try to read a lot of contemporaries. The last year I have not done very well in that, but usually I really like to read contemporaries in the summer. And sneak peek for my June TBR, it's almost or completely comprised of contemporary reads. Brittany Reads says, congrats, love. Who do you watch on YouTube, and do you have any goals for your channel in the next year? I would like to post more reviews. I've been doing better than the last year on reviews, but I have not been doing as good as I'd like to. And I'd also really like to improve my editing skills. I just think that editing is like the funnest thing in the world, so I really want to get better at it. And who do I watch on YouTube? I watch a lot of booktubers. Like, there are honestly so many booktubers that I love, but some non-booktube YouTubers that I really enjoy watching are, well, this one's kind of booktube, but Rosianna Hals Anderson. I love Rosianna. She is my all-time favorite YouTuber. I love her so much, and she is John Green's assistant. So that's how I first discovered her. Speaking of such, I really love the Vlog Brothers. John and Hank Green are some of my favorite YouTubers. I really enjoy Grace Helbig. I also really love Jenna Izarek and Justine Izarek. Justine is iJustine, and her sister Jenna is great. Off the top of my head, those are some of my favorites, though I'm probably forgetting a lot of people. Sydney West asks, cats or dogs? Dogs. Siblings? Nope, I'm an only child. And favorite lipstick? Of course, if I was planning better, I would be wearing this lipstick today, but I'm not. So in my recent desire to only purchase cruelty-free makeup products, I purchased from a brand that I've never purchased before, and I've fallen in love with them, and that is Wet n Wild. Who would have known? Their products are incredible. And my favorite lipstick of all time is by them, and it is in this like purplish color. It looks pretty dark, but it comes out like a really pinkish purple color that I love, and this is in the shade 908C Sugar Plum Fairy. I really like it because I think it's a bold and wearable color at the same time. And then Erin is one of my favorite YouTubers. Go subscribe to Erin, she's great. Erin from Neverland Books said, I'm so happy that you finally hit 1K. Okay, if you lived in the world of Harry Potter, what would your job be? If you could see any musical on Broadway right now, which one would you pick, dear Evan Hansen? I kind of am tempted to say reporter. I know the reporters in the Harry Potter world are pretty shitty, but like, I went to school for journalism and PR, but like when I was in high school, I really wanted to be a journalist. Is that cheating? Because it's like a thing I could do here too. I wouldn't be a good teacher. Don't think I would be able to do a lot of things for the ministry. What I do in real life is social media, so that's not really a thing in Harry Potter's world, so I can't do that. I think I'm gonna go with like a journalist, but I wouldn't write for the Daily Prophet because they're pretty corrupt. I'd probably write for an independent magazine or something. Yeah. And then Maggie from Maggie Ann Martin said, yay, congrats, Reggie, so deserved. You guys are so sweet to me. Okay, my question is, if you could trade places with any fictional character, who would it be and why? This is such a hard question because so many of my favorite characters are in really rough spots I don't want to be in. Like, I love Mark Watney, don't want to be stuck on Mars. I would die in like 2 seconds. I actually think I'm going to go with Blue Sergeant from the Raven Boys because, yeah, she's had some rough struggles in her life, but her adventure is so cool and her life turns out pretty nifty, and I really want to go on an adventure with the Raven Boys. Rachel Despins comments, congrats on reaching 1K. My question is, what is your favorite beverage to drink during spring and summer? I really like cool and refreshing drinks, so like iced teas are nice. I really like strawberry lemonade and Arnold Palmer. And I really like just like the ice, sparkling ice, like the flavored waters. Those are really great. Also water, obviously. Water is like a constant in my life. I really like me some water. Lucifer's daughter asked, congrats, what are your favorite TV shows? As of yesterday, I have finished binging the first 3 seasons of The 100, and season 4 comes out on Netflix June 1st. So it'll be up, and I'll probably be watching it at the point this video goes live. Super obsessed with 100. Also, Gilmore Girls is like my favorite TV show of all time. I'm currently watching Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, which is really fun. I've taken a hiatus because I was watching that with Manny. Manny's currently out of the country. I also really like The Flash and The Orphan Black. I'm so excited for the last season. I don't know why I called it The Orphan Black. It's just Orphan Black, though like there are more. I've been thinking about doing a video all about my favorite TV shows, so if you're interested in that, let me know. Antonella Rios asks, yay, congrats on the milestone, Reggie. My question for you is, if you had the opportunity to read one book again for the very first time, which one would you pick? A lot of people say Harry Potter, and I almost answered Harry Potter when I first saw this question. I was like, oh, Harry Potter. But the more I thought about it, the more I think Harry Potter wouldn't be the same without the nostalgia factor I have with it. I read it at such a crucial point in my life, which is part of why Hermione is so important to me. And I can't imagine taking that away from young Reggie, not having Hermione near her, or not rereading the books and having that special connection to how much they impacted me. I really want to reread The Diviners for the first time. I mean, it's going to be a lot of these books that I was thinking of like would be still great during the reread, so that's the problem. And this will also be great for a reread. But there's just something so special about not knowing quite what's going on in this book and piecing it together. It's not like a mystery or a thriller, but it has those aspects to it, and it's just so good and well constructed. I just think it would be really cool to reread this again for the first time. And I think this is a book that, regardless of when you give it to me, I'm gonna love it. So those are all the questions that you guys asked me. Thank you again so much for asking me questions and for 1,000 subscribers. You should comment down below and let me know what is a book you would reread again for the first time, because that was a hard question for me. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!